don't know if you guys can tell, but it's snowing a little bit. I gotta clean that off. Let's get to it. Just cleaned that off and it's already starting to stick a bunch more. Goodness gracious. I'm hoping a lot of this comes off because I don't want to climb up on the roof and fall off. That makes me nervous, but gonna keep trying. So it has been quite a while since we put any parts on the van. A new year has come. We've had to wait on a bunch of parts, but we are back at it today. And the plan is to figure out where to put the scene lights that are going to go on the van from Strands Lighting Division, which I'm super pumped about because more lights equals more gooder. And there is a pallet of stuff waiting for me to discover that I've been waiting on for months and months and months. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what's going on, but we got to wait for this snow to melt and get off the van because this is not safe. This is pretty much all ice and compacted snow, and the tires on the van right now are not good for this. It's awesome, it's fun, but whew, I wish there weren't any other people on the road. That would make this a lot easier. A little bit of slush on the step, a little bit of slush on the ladder. All right, let's go check in with the boys and get started. This little guy is a scene light from Strands Lighting Division. The idea is to light up the campground, and as you can see, it's got some heat sinks on there, it's got some nice screw holes on the sides, and around the back, we actually have some weep holes to let water get out. It's a really nice design. In trying to figure out how and where to mount these, we had to figure out where the light pattern was, so we just hooked it up to a little battery charger, and you can see it is just throwing light everywhere. According to Strands, it has a 180-degree horizontal throw and 125-degree vertical throw, and it outputs about 2,300 lumens per light. That's crazy. Now, after I stopped drooling over this super cool old school Land Cruiser that was in the shop, Pat started drying off the van to make sure we had a nice clean surface to work with. What he started doing here is using a template that he made to make sure the measurements were going to be correct all the way around the van. We wanted these nice and high and evenly spaced so that we had plenty of light all over the campground, all around the van. And once we're happy with the placement, Pat uses this really neat automatic punching tool to mark the holes so that we can then drill everything out and start mounting and wiring. As you may have guessed, the next step is to drill the holes we just made the punches for. We start with the small pilot holes because we don't want to remove more material, make bigger holes than are necessary. We'll drill 3 of those out, and then you can see the center hole where the wiring is going to go through is a little bit larger. And as per usual, Pat is making sure that we don't have any rust issues later by painting the raw edges. Then we can start wiring. We put a grommet in there, Pat did actually, and he's now feeding it into the sort of forehead area of the van. What's cool is there's actually enough room in my van to feed it through without having to remove that headliner, which would have been a huge pain in the rear. And what you just saw was Pat spraying on a little bit of lubrication to make sure that we can get that wiring through. We want this to be as tight as absolutely possible so that no moisture can get in. In fact, after we do this sort of rough test fit, you can see there, that just sat up there. That looks great. Looks like a factory part to me. However, Pat goes back with a little bit of, I believe it's RTV, to seal it up to make sure that this is absolutely watertight. We do not want to have any moisture issues later down the road, and this is how you do it, with the right kind of install. Man, I really love working with these guys. They do everything the right way instead of trying to cut corners or all that kind of nonsense. They don't do it like that. They do it the right way, which is how I like it. And that means it's time to bust out the angry face and properly torque this down by hand, not with a tool. We don't want it over torqued. We don't, look at that face. We don't want this overdone. We want it done right. Then we start moving on to the other side, the other lights.
It's been in the garage for almost 3 hours and it's still pissing, just like that. What the fuck does RTV actually stand for, by the way?
Room temperature vulcanization cream.
One more time?
Room temperature vulcanization cream.
one more time? Does that mean you don't got to get it hot to vulcanize?
Exactly. It cures at room temperature.
Is that what room temperature means?
Yes.
Indeed.
Ambient air temp.
And as Pat is torquing down the last one, you can see what it looks like from the inside of the van. No insulation yet. We got to see what this looks like, right? Let's put some power on it. You can see one above the door, one in the rear. That's about the spacing that I think will give the most even distribution. I'm unsure of where I would use the other two lights that I have. I may put one on the back, but I mean, these things look freaking fantastic. I love the way they look. And now we got to go outside and see what they look like at night. Okay, so this is roughly the amount of light that the van is putting out. Obviously, we're filming on a camera, so it's not true to the human eye, but this is fairly accurate. We're getting a little bit of splash from that fog light right now, but I'm just gonna walk around and try and show you roughly what I can see as we walk around the van. The scene lights are on the van, but they are not currently turned on. We've got the ambers on, you can see them up top. I'm just gonna set the camera down and then try and get an idea of how much light this is actually putting out. I am not going to cut the shot. Let's set the camera down. It's a bit damp out, as you can probably tell, so there's a lot of glare, but look, like it throws light all the way back there onto the guardrail all around me. Like this is tons of light, and there's just two on this side, and we'll go around the driver's side. Look at the darkness. We definitely need to put one on the back to light this area. I mean, I've got those auxiliary lights, but I would rather have something tied into the house lights that I can light the back with. But look, this is the driver's side. Same situation. Absolute gobs, just gobs of light. So roughly, what is it? 2,300, so 4,600 lumens. If I can get that to, there we go. There's the backlights. So you can see what those look like. Now, we're working on a solution for those to get them, I want them to be out and pointed down more so they fill in this. But again, these scene lights are gonna be tied into the house batteries, and those are tied into the driving battery. So, different systems, different light, but you can see it absolutely cranks, but it's very directional. Man, that is a boatload of light. I am so pumped about that. Look, it just lights up where you got to get in if they're on. This is just the daytime running lights on and the two scene lights. Now, I could add another one in here, but I just don't see, with the amount of light that's being put out, I don't see the reason to do that. And the light on the ladder is totally fine. You can totally see each step. If I needed, for whatever reason, to get up there at night, I also have headlamps. And you can definitely tell we need something back here to fill in this space, get some more light on this. I'll probably put it on the passenger side door because I have ideas for the driver's side. The other thing that this allows me to do is film at night in remote areas with no issue. I mean, look at my face. This is completely lit. It's almost too bright. I mean, there's 4,600-ish lumens hitting me. I mean, this is absolutely bonkers. It's just all about flexibility and versatility, and those little things are doing a great job. And this, boys and girls, right here is something I have been waiting on for months. On this pallet, we have something that will absolutely change not only the way the van rides, but also the way the van looks. Let's get her cut open. We're peeking out over here, guys. So, some of you will remember that the rear struts on the van were wrong. We tried to put them on in a previous video, and they were just incorrect. They would not fit on the van. So, we went back to King, and we said, hey guys, this ain't right. So we've got, not only, there we go. Not only do we have a new set of King struts right here, we've got the new Deaver leaf springs, and somewhere on this pallet, I believe there are 5 Rika, what do they call them? The Rambler 3500? I don't know what the hell they're called at this point. I'll mark it in the video. I don't quite remember, but 5 new wheels. Let's get them off the pallet. I want you guys to look at this real quick. We've got the Shadowmark logo on there. That's pretty cool. They worked with Deaver to make these special for the 3500 vans. This thing is absolutely freaking massive. I'm not even gonna try to remove this from the pallet by myself, but that is a big spring. We've got 2 of them. Let's see if I can get this off of here.
Yeah, strong man.
Okay, let's get the wheels. Oh my gosh. Shout out to whoever, that's good delivery quality right there. That was inside the wrap. Joe, I am so freaking excited right now. This has been
months in the making.
Easily 6 months, if not longer, of a process.
It's your first time getting your eyes on them.
I've never, we just cut the tape. I have never seen these. Okay, so they got them wrapped up nice. This is packaged pretty nice. Shout out to Rika for that. And I before we look at them, I want to say something. I don't like the color. I'll explain in a minute. Okay, all right, look at this. Got this like plastic hooba jube. Let's get rid of that. What's this, like a condom on here? What is that? I believe this is the spare. Yeah, it's the spare. I can see through there. Now, the intelligent people will realize that this is bronze. I personally do not really like bronze wheels. So all of these wheels are going to get powder coated in a very special color. But we're not going to keep them bronze. But let's pull it out of here and take a look at it. What do you think, Joe?
I like them. I like the bronze. But bronze on yellow, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll hold it up there and we'll look at it. What's neat about the spare with this system is that it's meant to work on the front or rear. This is a super single conversion. So this particular wheel has the correct back spacing to work either on the front or the rear with the big brake kit. How's that? Is that lined up?
That's pretty lined up.
What do you think of the color?
I kind of like it.
I hate you, Joe.
It's not my
pull
bad.
one of the other ones out. I wonder if the lugs are in this one. It might be on there. We're gonna find out. Ow. Let's see if this is a front or a rear. What do you think?
Rear.
Definitely a rear. Look at that. There's lug nuts. That is a deep dish. Actually, this might be a front. I'm looking,
It's upside down,
at it
right?
from the other side. What? That's fine. Everything's fine. This is packaged like pretty nice. Is this normal, Joe? I've never opened
Yeah,
it
this
up.
is for good wheels. It's pretty normal.
Yeah, this is the front. Let's get that record. Look at that. That's cool, man. They look great. I love the contours of this. I'm so freaking excited. We got to figure out which one of these is the rear. I'm going to put all this back together. I'll come back to you when we have a rear one. All right, I think we've got a rear right here, boy. You can tell by the way that it is.
That makes sense.
That's a deep cut from the internet. That's a deep cut. All right, here, I got you some. Oh my gosh. Where can I set this? Whoop. Don't die. Thank you for moving my knife. These are going to be super deep dish. Really cool looking. Here we go. That's for you, Joe. Take the condom off. Oh, man, look at that. They call this bronze, but it's more like, I guess it is. Maybe all the other bronze wheels end up looking like tan. I'm not really sure, but either way, this one wheel will replace 2 on the back of my van. This is a 17 by 8, I think. I don't know what it says on the box. I'll mark it in the video, it doesn't matter right now, but I'm so freaking excited about these wheels. These are gonna be a completely different color when we put these on next week.